Disclaimer. This case involves the brutal murder of 4 young people. Handle with extreme respect, focus on the victims' lives and the pursuit of justice. Imagine 4 college students returning home after a Saturday night out, laughing, making plans for tomorrow. They go to sleep in their shared house, safe, secure, doors locked. By morning, all 4 are dead, stabbed in their beds. 2 roommates survived, sleeping on the first floor, unaware. No forced entry, no obvious suspect. Then, weeks later, police arrest a criminology PhD student from a neighboring university. This is the Idaho College murders. This is Cold Trail. November 13th, 2022. 4 University of Idaho students lived in an off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho. Kaylee Goncalves, 21, senior. Madison Mogen, 21, senior and Kaylee's best friend. Xana Kernodle, 20, junior. Ethan Chapin, 20, freshman. And Xana's boyfriend. All 4 were beloved, driven, excited about their futures. That night, they went out separately, returned home between 1 and 2 a.m. 2 other roommates, Dylan and Bethany, were also home, sleeping on the first floor. By morning, 4 of the 6 would be dead, and the survivors wouldn't even know until hours later. Saturday, November 12th, Kaylee and Madison went to a local bar, the Corner Club. They were seen on surveillance footage ordering food at a nearby food truck around 1:40 a.m. Seemed happy, normal. Xana and Ethan attended a fraternity party on campus, also normal college activities. Everyone returned to the King Road house between 1 and 2 a.m. Surveillance showed Kaylee and Madison arriving via rideshare. The house went quiet. Everyone went to bed. Sometime between 3 and 4 a.m., someone entered the house, went upstairs, and committed one of the most shocking crimes in recent memory. November 13th, around noon, one of the surviving roommates called 911, reported an unconscious person. Police arrived at 1122 King Road. What they found was a massacre, 4 students stabbed to death in their beds. Kaylee and Madison on the 3rd floor, Xana and Ethan on the 2nd floor. The 2 first-floor roommates, Dylan and Bethany, were unharmed. They'd slept through the attack, had no idea what happened above them. The community was terrified. A killer had entered a home and murdered 4 people while others slept feet away. Who could do this? And where were they now? The investigation was immediate and massive. Moscow Police, Idaho State Police, and FBI all responded. They processed the crime scene for days. No forced entry. Whoever entered had either used an unlocked door or had access. The murder weapon, a large fixed blade knife, similar to a Ka bar military knife, not recovered at the scene. The killer took it. Investigators reviewed thousands of hours of surveillance footage, interviewed hundreds of people, received thousands of tips. But for weeks they had no suspect. The community was terrified. Was the killer among them? Would they strike again? Investigators identified a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the crime scene around the time of the murders. Surveillance cameras captured it driving through the area multiple times between 3 and 4 a.m. The car circled the neighborhood, drove past the King Road house, left the area after 4 a.m. Police released this information publicly, asked for help identifying the vehicle and driver. This became the breakthrough. Someone recognized the description, and that led pointed investigators to a neighboring university, to a criminology PhD student, to Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Christopher Kohberger was 28 years old, a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University in Pullman, about 8 miles from Moscow. He was a teaching assistant, studying how criminals think, how they're caught. Kohberger had recently moved from Pennsylvania to attend WSU. He drove a white Hyundai Elantra, the same make and model seen near the crime scene. Investigators obtained his phone records, placed him near the King Road house multiple times before the murders, driving past, surveilling. Kohberger had been stalking the house, watching the victims, planning. December 30th, 2022, 6 weeks after the murders, FBI and Pennsylvania State Police surrounded Kohberger's parents' home in the Poconos. Kohberger had driven there for winter break. SWAT teams moved in at 3 a.m., arrested him without incident. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. The relief in Moscow was palpable. They had him, the monster who murdered 4 students in their sleep, but questions remained. Why did he do it? What was his connection to the victims? Did he know them? Or were they random targets? The evidence against Kohberger was substantial. DNA from a knife sheath found at the crime scene matched Kohberger's DNA. The sheath had been left on the bed next to one of the victims. It had a button snap. Touch DNA on that snap matched Kohberger. Cell phone records placed him near the house at least 12 times before the murders. Surveillance footage showed his white Elantra near the scene. His phone pinged towers near the house the night of the murders, then went dark, turned off, during the murder window. This wasn't coincidence, this was planning, stalking, premeditation. The most chilling evidence came from a surviving roommate, Dylan. Court documents revealed she heard noises that night, crying. A male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She opened her bedroom door, saw a figure dressed in black, wearing a mask, bushy eyebrows, walking toward her. She froze in fear. The figure walked past, exited through the sliding glass door. Dylan was in shock, locked herself in her room. Didn't call 911 until the next morning when other friends arrived. She'd seen the killer, and survived because he let her. Why? No one knows. Why did Kohberger do it? Investigators haven't publicly stated a motive. Did he know the victims? There's no evidence they ever met. Were they random targets? Possibly. Some theorize Kohberger, studying criminology, wanted to commit the perfect crime, to test himself, to see if he could outsmart investigators. Others believe he was obsessed with one of the victims, stalked the house, planned meticulously. The truth may emerge at trial, or Kohberger may never explain. Some killers enjoy keeping secrets, maintaining control, even from behind bars. The why may forever remain a mystery. The murders shattered Moscow, Idaho, a small college town of 25,000 people, safe, quiet. Suddenly the site of a quadruple homicide. Students were terrified. Many left campus. Parents pulled their kids out. The university increased security, offered counseling. The King Road house became a memorial, covered in flowers, photos, and messages. Students held vigils. The community came together in grief. Eventually, the university demolished the house. Too painful, too haunting. A reminder of lives stolen, futures erased, by someone who studied crime but chose to become a criminal. Kohberger's trial was scheduled for 2024 but has been delayed. The case was moved to Boise due to pre-trial publicity in Moscow. Kohberger faces the death penalty if convicted. He's pleaded not guilty, claims he was driving around that night, stargazing, has an alibi, but the evidence is overwhelming. DNA, cell phone data, surveillance footage, eyewitness testimony. His defense team has an uphill battle. Families of the victims wait for justice, wait for answers. The trial will be emotional, difficult, but necessary. 4 young people deserve justice, and a community deserves closure. Kaylee Goncalves was planning to attend law school. Madison Mogen wanted a career in marketing. Xana Kernodle was studying marketing and IT. Ethan Chapin was a recreation and tourism major. All 4 were bright, kind, loved by family and friends. They were more than victims. They were daughters, sons, sisters, brothers, friends. They had dreams, plans, futures. Scholarships have been established in their names. Their families keep their memories alive, share their stories, refuse to let them be forgotten, refuse to let their lives be defined by how they died. They deserve to be remembered for how they lived. Bryan Kohberger sits in jail awaiting trial. The evidence against him is substantial. DNA, digital footprints, eyewitness testimony. If convicted, he'll likely spend the rest of his life in prison or face execution. 4 families wait for justice. A community waits for closure. The trial will bring painful details, force everyone to relive the nightmare. But it's necessary. Justice demands it. Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan deserve it. Their voices may be silenced, but their families speak for them, demanding accountability, demanding truth. This is Cold Trail. Subscribe and join us. Thanks for watching.